Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining Sammy and I. We appreciate all the likes, the comments, and sharing our videos. Thank you very much. Last time we spoke, guys, I was telling you all about the horrible things I did as a child, and I stole all the school money. I stole everything. I stole from everybody, anybody that if I seen your money in your purse, I was gonna steal. I got in trouble for everything, and I don't want to go over the things I did, but I did some. I burnt Donald and Ronald Nixon were some twins in school. I walked right into school. Whatever time, as soon as the bell rang, me and one of the twins were late to class. And as we were walking down the hallway, I just lit his hair on fire. I did those type of things. So when I did those things, at every time, my father took care of it. He met me with aggression. My father beat me senseless. My father would whoop me with the razor straps that you use to the barbers that sharpen their blades. The switches, I don't remember many switches, but extension cords. You know, I got a scar over here. That day when, that was from when I stole all the school money. He beat me with an extension cord. Blood was everywhere. I didn't cry one tear, but I had some siblings that were crying at that time. And my father was scared. I remember he called my stepmom and told her to come home. They didn't even give me a stitch. I needed some stitches. But, so my father, he met me with everything I did, he met me with aggression. I knew, guys, that 3 to 4 times every week that I was going to get a whooping. I knew every Wednesday that when I went up my driveway, I was going to get 2 pieces of cornbread and a whooping because I wasn't going to eat the beans. And I was really disappointed. I usually got that whooping. One time that I did with the school thing, you know how we say, beat you till you can't sit down, and we just, think people just talking? I couldn't sit down. Next time I found myself in school, and I believe it was called cold water, and when I went to go sit down the first day, when I got to the new school, I went to sit down and I stood up real quick. He beat my butt. He beat my butt. Not only did my father beat my butt, more than a whooping. I got, that was abuse, what I got. But was it deserved? Sure, it was deserved. But why was I doing those things? As I think about it, in 3rd grade, my teacher was Miss White. I didn't have trouble in school then. I don't remember the 4th grade, but I'm pretty sure it started about the 4th grade. The 5th grade, I was all in. I was showing my butt. I was crying out like never before. If you guys don't think those acts were acts of crying out, what's going on? Kids don't do the things I did every day. And when I did those things, guys, I'm not exaggerating. When I did those things, I meant that I got suspended from school. And so to be suspended from school meant that I was stuck at home with my dad. That was stupid of me. If I had any kind of sense, I would have stayed at school. When my dad would walk in the kitchen, we'd be at the table, and we would be talking amongst ourselves, the kids. And when my dad walked in the kitchen, we all became quiet, one by one. We hurry up, ate our food, we got out of the kitchen. I was very fearful of my dad, and I loved my dad. At no point while I'm telling you any of this did I ever stop loving my father. Never. Nope. Not to this day. Never. So, not only was I met with the aggression of the abuse from my father, as often as he could, he would verbally abuse me. My father, if he saw me looking in the mirror, he would say, Sammy's crying over here, guys, and distracting me. I'm so sorry. He would say, get your ugly ass out that mirror. So, today, I have a mirror in my house, and it's been here. When I moved in, I brought it. Where I had it last, where before, there was no mirrors on my wall. That mirror was somewhere turned where you couldn't see the mirror behind something. And my son was here and he had to have the mirror. So the big mirror that's supposed to be attached to my dresser that I could see every day of the week, Or in the bathroom? No. It's in a closet. I could use it, but it's in my closet. In the bedroom. I have no desire to see myself in the mirror. I have no desire. If someone to this day tells me I'm pretty, I ain't got time for you. You know, I don't want to be pretty. I make sure that I tell them when they do my hair, don't do no pretty shit. I don't want no softness. You know what I'm saying? So then let's put the icing on the cake. He was also sexually abusing me. You know. So why would I keep getting in trouble to be at home where I was gonna be abused even more? Yeah. And he had to make a run. He come back. All that trying to put his tongue in my mouth and saying, "Kiss me like you kiss them boys." What fucking boy? It's not cool. The hard part about this all, guys, is I loved my dad. You know, didn't do no wrong. I don't see how any of the people around me didn't see what's going on. Now, as children, we're not gonna tell. Man, you know how scared I was of my father? Do you know how scared I was of my father? You can't imagine. I can imagine now when I think about the little kids. If your kids right now and you go around somewhere, and we like mannerable kids, but we know what they are when they're scared to death. If you see some kids scared to death, then I say befriend them damn kids. Find out what the hell is going on. They shouldn't be scared to death. Hey, everybody in the house can't be timid. All right, you got one timid, one okay. But everybody, come on, let's wake up. The sexual abuse went on at nighttime. God, maybe other people didn't know what was going on. I can remember some people coming up to the school and asking me some questions. I don't remember any of the questions. And I remember that I really didn't give them any answers. I was too scared. I just sat there quietly. But what I also remember, and this hurts my heart, what I also remember is the next week, the same white lady that came to see me, I seen her talking to one of my favorite cousins. And I knew what was going on with her. It just came to me. No one ever told me. I never asked her. Yeah, but I knew then. And so that really hurt my heart, you know. I remember, guys, and I've said every morning I went to the 7-Eleven and I stole candy so I couldn't have to go to sell. The reason I had no teeth today is candy. I can go in there and I won't embarrass myself and pull out the biggest bag of candy you guys probably ever seen. I eat candy. I know you're not supposed to feed cancer with candy. I eat candy, big time. So, I lost my dog. I remember leaving the 7-Eleven, and it was one day I was late. So, I'm leaving the 7-Eleven, and now I'm up by the school. And I'm about to cross over and go into the school ground. But right before then, I see my father driving down the street. He's driving down the street at a very slow rate. And guys, I know with all my heart what he was doing. He was looking for somebody's little girl. Can't make me take it back. I know it to be the truth. And what did I do? I jumped in the ditch. I jumped in the ditch so he wouldn't see me. And I quite often think about the fact that I jumped in the ditch hoping that he would find some other little girl. And if he did, I can never apologize enough. I just can't. So, we don't have to go through all of what things happen. Molestation is molestation, you know. Over 51% of the people that molest are the natural fathers, like mine, natural father. Why don't they tell? We're scared. Why didn't I just stand up in one of them church things and say, "My daddy touched me"? That crossed my mind. Some more important things to know is, 30% of the people that abuse us have been abused themselves. So it's a sickness, you know. And here's the way it goes. Here's the way it should go. Let's say you're getting married. What is the harm in having that conversation? You straight up ask that dude, "Hey man, you ever been molested?" I don't know how they would take it. I honestly don't know if it would offend them or not. But they say that you should check. Because if you have, I'm not saying, and I can't fight all y'all, so don't even try. I'm not trying to say that all men do this. No, 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 no. I'm just saying, maybe if he tells you the honest goodness truth, and let's just say he says yes, he was molested. So you know in your heart that there's 30 to 40% chance that he's capable of doing it. And if you know this, you can keep an eye on him. You can be aware. You can be vocal to your child in front of that man. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. How about that, ladies? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? From as long as they can say gaga goo goo the first time they say mama, you say to them out loud, let me know if anybody ever touch you. Say it in front of that man so that man can know that you instilled in that child to let you know. Forget snitches get stitches. Let me know if somebody has touched you. Somebody looking at you funny. If you feel uncomfortable, what's the harm? What's the harm? Guys, we gotta protect the kids. Sad to say, but our boys are probably more unsafe right now than our girls are. Our girls are safer than the boys are. That's pretty bad. That's just my opinion. Statistics will say something different. But, these things happen. Sexual abuse, child abuse, and it would have continued. It would have continued. But I found out that it was happening to someone else. And that's what made me tell. I knew that if I went to my stepmother or anybody and said anything against my dad, they wouldn't believe me. I was a liar on top of being a thief. You know what I mean? Everything I said was a lie. So I didn't feel like nobody would believe me. But when I found out it happened to someone else, my stepmother was then informed. And I remember when the night that my stepmother was told about the sexual abuse, I was called to the room and she says, tell me what your daddy did. I said, nothing. He didn't do nothing. So he left. I can remember his ashy feet. You know, he came in and took his church clothes off because it was a church night that we told. It was a Wednesday or a Sunday night. So he left. What did I do to you? Nothing. The next morning, my mother took off out the house, and I think she was on 2 tires at a high rate. She was gone. My father took off after her. And they were gone for a few days. And when she returned, I remember she told me he would never touch me again. You're not getting this doggone towel. You're never touching. He would never touch me again. So I believed her. That probably lasted a week or two. But what I can tell you guys, the last time it happened. Now, what had happened was, my stepmother used to always have those Eagle stamps, if you guys know what I mean. Those Eagle stamps, I think you got $3.75 for a full book. Like when you buy groceries, you got the stamp. And every time she would fill them up and put them up in the top of her closet. And she also liked to keep 50-cent pieces and whole dollar pieces. And every time she put them up in there, I would steal them. And she had them up there and I hadn't stolen them for a while. So she said, I was walking past them, my mom and dad, going downstairs, and I heard my mother say, hey, Deneen is doing good. And he said, what you talking about, Ann? And she said, I got stamps up there and coins. She ain't touched one of them. I was 1 foot on the way down the steps, and when I heard that, I turned completely around, and wherever they were sitting, they couldn't even see me go in her room. I went immediately in that room and stole the money. She realized it normally takes days. She realized it on that day. She said, you ain't gonna believe it, I just told you she just stole the money, and then she went in there and stole it. My dad was furious. I'll tell you guys, my dad and them had a church, had 2 churches. They had another church that was an hour away. And that day they were going to that church. And my dad didn't have time to put the beat down on me. But he came in there and he said, look at here, you little thief. I don't give a damn how you do it. But when I get back here, it better be $3.75 on this dresser. Am I going to get $3.75? The only place I could think of to get $3.75 is down the street at his sister's house. So I went down there, and I went in her purse, and I took $3.75. And when he got home, I was asleep, but it was $3.75 on that chest of drawers. Now, when I woke up, the phone rang. And when the phone rang, I knew exactly who it was. It was my auntie that I stole the money from. So I had out, snatched the phone, downstairs in the basement, answered the phone, hello. Daddy upstairs. Hello. She said, Janine, get off the phone. I get off the phone. She tell Daddy I done stole the money. Daddy come down there and commenced to, Daddy had already been down there molesting me that morning, right? And so when he got the phone call, he came down there and he was mad, and he was really mad because he wasn't done molesting me. And so he said, I'll be back. And I knew what he was going to do. He's going to go cool off. You know what I'm saying? He's going to come back and get his groove on. Not today, my brother. Not today or any. That was April the 1st, 1977. I remember I had on my mentally retarded cousin Pammy's hand-me-down lime green pants with the green stripe, and the zipper didn't work. I had 2 pins that probably everybody could see, and that's what I had on the day I left. And I didn't even fix the zipper that morning. When I left, I couldn't even close my pants. But I was out of there. Went out that back door because he said I'll be back. I don't give a damn. I won't be here. And the only hard part about that is that I was going out that door. I didn't even close the back door. And I remember my brother called my name. He said, don't go. And for him, I really wanted to go back. But I knew I couldn't, and I wouldn't. And I was never going to go back as a child to that house. I've told you guys I was in group homes. And I'd be over in that neighborhood. That's the neighborhood I knew. I'd be over there, and my dad would see me on the street. He'd pull up beside me and say, get in the car. Man, you got me messed up. You got me messed up. Now, at this point, I don't know if this dude would actually kill me or not. But I know the hell I ain't going to get in that car. I can't imagine. So, you guys know I was in the group home. After that happened, I went to the police station. The lady that everybody had told me was my deceased mother's friend. She found me a group home to go to on that day. Sorry, guys. She found me a group home to go to on that day. Now, while I was in that group home, my father came to see me. And man, when my father came, the whole group home was in an uproar. All the ladies were like, no, he can't see her, this, that. But he had some right. They had to allow him to see me. And when he came in there, my dad, I really can't believe this. I couldn't believe it. My dad asked me to tell the people that I needed attention. And that's why I was doing it. He told me to tell the people that I was lying. Guys, I gotta let Sammy out. Come on, girl. I gotta let Sammy out. I'll be right back. So I wouldn't tell the people that I was lying. I just couldn't do it. I had my freedom. I was free. I was in a place where I could speak and voice my opinions. And that was very different from what we had going on in our house. If I didn't mention this, guys, my father was a pastor the entire time this was going on. And this stopped when I was 13, like I say, April the 1st, 1977. And I can remember the last day and the first day. The first day, I was walking through the back door, and the rest of the family, anybody older than me was in there, and they were cleaning the kitchen. And my dad was in there. My dad said, hey, look, Janine got titties. That night, I'm sure he can tell you what size titty I had, because he was all over. So that was that. Now, how did all these things affect me, and how do they affect the children? Well, you guys already know. I've been screaming out some years now. I think from the time he touched me, my behavior started to change. And these weren't, I actually can say I was screaming loud, to do all the things I did. I just wasn't no little kid that wouldn't listen, I was screaming out for help, and it still affects you when you go through that as a kid. People don't know that. 59 years old. I understand. Last time I was in church, now I've been wrestling with myself about talking about this. I have fantasized about this platform. I wanted to tell this story. I need to tell this story so that somebody can take heed. Please, just somebody, And I need this to heal, So I was in church, the last time I was in church, wrestling with this. Church was just beginning. I hadn't even sat down yet. And I felt like God said to me right then, he said, go ahead, make the video. Just make the video. So I was in church, I felt good. I felt real good. God just told me to make the video. And in less than 1 minute, the preacher said, somebody in here has been molested when they was a little kid. Get over it. Then I got angry. That didn't last too long because I thought about it. And I thought about it. The preacher's right. I should get over it. And I am after I tell this damn story. Best believe that part. I hope to get over it. I think if I could have got over it, I'd been and got over it by now. You know what I mean? So, to this day, it affects me. Like I say, my self-esteem. I'm cool. What's that old commercial? But I got a wonderful personality, and I do. I'm mean. I'm an asshole. All my friends will tell you I'm an asshole. I take pride in that. I'm a pretty good asshole. But I'm different. Things I think, how I feel about men especially, is bad. It's sad that my son and my grandson have to hear me say too many times, hey man, make sure you checking their age. Hey, no is no. It's like I have a distrust for my own that they haven't done anything to make me distrust them. You know what I mean? But I can't even trust my own child because he's a male. In that sense, and that's me keeping it 100. He knows. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And for me, my dad was also a pastor, a minister. So the fact that I haven't had or couldn't embrace God because I couldn't receive the messages, because more times than not, messages coming from a male. I mean, I know we can't judge all men and we can't judge all ministers, but maybe somebody will understand how it's hard for me to take the word. I know you're not supposed to judge people, and I know nobody walks on water, but it's hard. It's really hard when, as a child, what I seen the ministers do, And I know I'm not supposed to judge him like this, but let me just break it down. When my dad and his friends, all ministers, and we got together and we had family functions, and they would have all that alcohol over there, Today, as an adult, I know, so what, So what they had beer over there, they tried to keep it from us, So what? But as a little kid, when they didn't keep it from me, they tried to, but they didn't, I got this distrust, I believe with all my heart that at least one, I know one of my dad's peers would look at me in an inappropriate way. As a child, and I remember when I had my first child, and he was, we happened to be in the same place, and I knew what his thoughts were. But if that man knew what I was thinking, I really wanted him to come on to me or do something, because I was going to whoop his ass. I was but 24, and he was a grown-ass man. Reverend whoever he is, I don't know if he's still alive, I seen you as a child looking at me. I'm 24. He's pretty lucky on that day. I wanted him to say something to me. I promise you I'd have caved his head in. God, alright. So, enough of that hatred talk. Here's the deal. Guys, when children are molested, we can't keep it a secret. We have to find a way to let our kids know what's going on. That's just the truth. We have to find a way to make sure that our kids inform us. We have to find a way to protect our kids. We do. And it hurts the children. It hurts them in so many ways. You know, bad behavior, verbal abuse, the sexual abuse, the child abuse, the hitting. You know, it's in the blood. It really is a learned behavior. It's a behavior that you will repeat. I repeated it. You know, I'm telling all my troops, I repeat, I was so verbally and physically abusive to my children. I have no room to talk about my dad. I called them people everything but their name. Talking about my children. I did. And I am so sorry. I did. And I hope they hear this, and I hope that they put it in their heart to make sure they break the chain. That's my prayer. Break the chain. I can't leave it this way. There's a little bit more I have to say for today, but I have to take a break for a minute.